NBA YoungBoy just lit the internet on fire again. This time, it's not about music, numbers, or legal drama, it's about the streets. In a recent rant, YoungBoy went straight at the whole idea of the streets movement and directly called out 21 Savage by name. He basically said the streets don't love you, don't protect you, and don't save anybody, and that rappers who keep pushing street loyalty are misleading people. This sparked instant debate across hip-hop because 21 Savage is known for speaking on street codes, survival, and real-life consequences. So now the question is simple. Is YoungBoy telling the truth, or is he disrespecting the culture that built hip-hop? Today, we're breaking down exactly what YoungBoy said, why he said it, how 21 Savage fits into this, and why this moment matters way more than people think.
21 Savage had the streets movement that he kind of has been promoting these last...
I don't even about that. I am the streets. I love the streets. I come from the streets. I ain't on all that shit. I ain't just like stop the violence. Same shit I've been on. I think people kind of confused. It ain't got nothing to really do with toting a gun. Cause I ain't telling you not tote your gun.
Mm-hmm.
But you ain't gotta have your gun and engage in bullshit. Have your cause you love it and cause you want to protect yourself. That's why I donate money to those type of things. Cause I actually do kill.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people just be like, I guess confused. I be throwing out mixed signals probably.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. Like, you would never forget about where you came from. Is that how you see the street? Is it like you think people are saying they came from?
But I don't got my own.
You don't be paying attention to that.
I just don't care.
Yeah.
It's the narrative somebody pushing right now, and I'm pushing my narrative.
Let's start with the moment that caused all this. NBA YoungBoy went on a public rant where he criticized the idea that the streets should be respected, followed, or glorified. He made it clear that the streets don't reward loyalty, don't provide real protection, and don't care what happens to you once you're locked up or gone. Then he took it a step further and brought up 21 Savage, saying that pushing the streets narrative is fake and dangerous, especially when most rappers making money aren't really living that life anymore. YoungBoy's message was blunt. The streets don't pay your bills, don't raise your kids, and won't save you when things go wrong. That statement alone hit a nerve, but mentioning 21 Savage turned it into a full-blown conversation across hip-hop social media. To understand why this blew up, you have to understand 21 Savage's image. Over the years, 21 Savage has built a reputation as someone who speaks honestly about street life, not glamorizing it, but explaining it. He's talked about survival, loss, jail, and consequences, often saying the streets aren't pretty, but they're real. So when YoungBoy called out the streets movement and mentioned 21 by name, people saw it as a direct challenge. Some fans felt YoungBoy was accusing 21 Savage of selling a lifestyle that traps people. Others felt YoungBoy was missing the point and ignoring that 21 often warns people about street consequences. Either way, once those two names collided, the internet knew this wasn't just random talk. It was a philosophical clash. NBA YoungBoy's viewpoint didn't come from nowhere. He spent years dealing with legal issues, house arrest, restrictions, and real consequences. From his perspective, the streets never helped him. They only brought pain, paranoia, and problems. YoungBoy has said before that once you make money, staying loyal to street codes makes no sense because those same streets will turn on you. His argument is simple. If the streets were real, they wouldn't leave people dead, locked up, or broke. He believes the streets are a trap that benefits nobody except people watching from the outside. In his eyes, the smartest move is to detach completely, even if that means people call you fake, soft, or disloyal. When people say the streets, they don't just mean crime. They mean loyalty, code, respect, and survival. For decades, hip-hop has reflected those ideas because many artists came from environments where the streets were real life. The problem now is that rappers who are millionaires still talk like they're trapped in the same conditions. YoungBoy is calling that out. He's saying you can't preach street loyalty while living in mansions and private compounds. To him, that's confusing fans, especially young listeners who don't see the difference between survival and performance. This is why his comments hit so hard. He's not attacking one person. He's attacking the entire mindset. One reason this moment matters is because of YoungBoy's audience. A lot of his fans are young, teenagers who listen closely to what he says. When someone like YoungBoy tells them the streets are fake and pointless, it challenges years of rap messaging. Some fans felt relieved, like someone finally said the quiet part out loud. Others felt disappointed, like he was disrespecting the struggles they see every day. But regardless of opinion, the message landed. YoungBoy wasn't trying to sound inspirational or motivational. He sounded frustrated, tired, and done with the whole idea. That raw honesty is why people paid attention. This is where the debate gets tricky. A lot of people rush to defend 21 Savage, saying he doesn't glorify street life. He explains it. He often talks about trauma, loss, and consequences, not just success. His fans argue that he's realistic, not misleading. But YoungBoy's counterpoint would be that even explaining it keeps it alive. He believes continuing to center street identity in rap keeps people mentally stuck there. So while 21 Savage may warn people, YoungBoy seems to believe the message still feeds the same system. This isn't really about right or wrong. It's about two different survival philosophies colliding. This isn't a diss track situation. This is bigger than ego or clout. What we're seeing is two generations of street-influenced rappers with different conclusions. One says the streets shaped me, but I survived. The other says the streets are a dead end and need to be rejected completely. That's why this moment feels heavy. It's not entertainment drama, it's identity conflict. Hip-hop has always wrestled with this question. Do you represent where you came from forever, or do you outgrow it and leave it behind? YoungBoy is firmly choosing the second option, even if it costs him respect. As expected, the internet split immediately. Some people praised YoungBoy, saying he's one of the few rappers brave enough to say the streets don't matter once you make it out. Others accused him of disrespecting the culture and forgetting where he came from. Some even said he was projecting his own pain and legal frustration onto everyone else. Meanwhile, others felt this conversation was overdue and that hip-hop needs to stop pretending street loyalty is honorable when it mostly leads to destruction. No matter where people landed, one thing was clear. Nobody ignored it. Another reason this blew up is how YoungBoy said it. He wasn't calm, calculated, or diplomatic. He sounded angry and fed up. When you talk like that, people take it personally. Even if your point makes sense, tone matters. By calling out 21 Savage directly, YoungBoy turned a general critique into a personal one. That's why people expected a response. Even silence becomes a statement at that point. And in hip-hop, silence can mean anything from maturity to strategic patience. This moment exposes where hip-hop is in 2026. The genre is rich, global, and powerful, but still tied to street mythology. Artists are trying to balance authenticity with survival. Some believe you must always represent the streets to be real. Others believe real growth means leaving that behind completely. YoungBoy is pushing the idea that growth requires separation, not loyalty. That's uncomfortable for a culture built on roots, struggle, and origin stories. But discomfort often means change is coming. Maybe not overnight, but moments like this plant seeds. Younger artists watching this might think twice about how they frame street life in their music. Fans might start questioning what's real and what's performance. And rappers might realize that constantly preaching street loyalty comes with responsibility. YoungBoy didn't offer a solution, he offered a warning. Whether people listen or not is another story. At the end of the day, NBA YoungBoy didn't just take a shot at 21 Savage, he challenged a mindset that's been part of hip-hop for decades. Some people will say he's wrong, some will say he's right, but nobody can say he didn't speak honestly. This wasn't clout chasing. This sounded like frustration from someone who's lived through the consequences and doesn't want to romanticize them anymore. The real question now is whether hip-hop is ready to hear that message, or if the streets narrative is too deeply rooted to let go. Either way, this conversation isn't over.